I think you should try it. Oh, this is great.
Definitely a cult phenomenon.
You know what I think?
It just hits you in the
yeah.
face. Well, recording is now in progress.
Blood and
I realize I like paint.
That was a botch. I'm blending. Hold on.
So, anyway, thanks for tuning in. We're talking about wrestling.
I'm talking to the potatoes.
That's how it's gonna go.
Entrance themes.
Yeah. Let's talk about entrance themes. Entrance themes, I'm particularly interested in like the whole package of a wrestler, from the gear to the hair to the entrance themes. And entrance themes can set the tone for a wrestler, I think. A song, to me, that's a song I might not usually like, can be still be a good theme, and vice versa. And there's so many little elements to themes that are interesting, that are different, that they're specific to wrestling, you know?
I feel like you're right, though. It could be everywhere where not only does it, to me, it's like, okay, is it catchy? Does the crowd participate with the song?
Yeah.
Does it give you like just that vibe that, like when you hear one sound, all of a sudden you're getting pumped.
Yeah.
Because that coming up.
That's that thing that's very particular to wrestling themes, where it's like that teaser in the beginning. It's what is it? The car crash with Mick Foley, the broken glass with Stone Cold. You've got the static with Punk.
You cannot sit there and ignore the fact that one of the best themes that not one of the best themes I think ever, but like most iconic ones now is Jericho's, because the crowd sings word for word loudly when he comes out, and that's got to be boss mode, because you're talking about a guy who wrote the song in his own band, his own character, his own, you know what I'm saying, like to come out to have the whole crowd. It's almost like a concert when they sing. It's almost like a concert.
Yep.
It's insane.
And that's a song I wouldn't normally like, but when I hear it, I'm like, oh, cool, this is perfect, and it works. And I've even seen, it's funny because I've seen Fozzy a couple of times. I was fortunate enough to work at a music venue where I got to see them for free. And it was fun, but it's not as much fun as seeing a wrestling crowd sing along with it, and him coming out to the music, like the whole fanfare of it. It just makes it a different thing.
Every generation we've seen people that was like 60 years old, 50 years old, fucking,
all singing,
every one of them, the whole arena. It became so organic too, to the fact that they were going to change it when he went heel, and they said, no, we can't change this, because this went organically, became one of the most like huge theme songs, and so that makes you think of like what other theme songs was like actually that iconic.
They were also smart about it, because they made it a little heely, where one of the 2.0 guys would be like, oh, you guys don't deserve the music, and they cut it off. So they'd still play a little bit of it. Then they'd give you the heel kind of kick to the nuts there. And like, I don't know. There's a lot of songs like that where it's like the atmosphere around it is more important than the song itself. And the idea of adding a little teaser to the beginning goes into my next song on both those points. Cody's song, that is a song I would not like.
Yes,
that is some mediocre emo pop, radio pop, corny shit. I'm not into it, but I grew to like it because I was a big Cody fan for a long time. So when I'd hear that song, and he had that song before AEW and Ring of Honor and all his indie stuff, I was just like, you associated it with Cody. And especially at the time, like Cody was such a big deal, and he was a big deal to me. That song was just so cool. When you heard it, Cody was coming out, and you knew that you were going to get like a great match, and I don't know, it meant something cool. But then they had to add the beginning, which I never was a big fan of. They added that whole, because it used to start with just wrestling has more than one royal family, right? Just that spoken line, and then it go into the song. Then he added that whole fanfare in the beginning where he rises up out of the floor.
Yeah, yeah.
And there was like, oh, this choral beginning. I'm like, I didn't need that extra beginning. You already had that teaser with the wrestling already has more than one royal family.
And some of the entrance themes are much better when they actually come out than if you heard like just regular. Like you heard like the theme song on YouTube, you're like, but then when like, let's say Claim comes out, it's so much more popping. The crowd goes nuts. He does his little rap on top of the actual thing of each time. Like, so they add more to it. Same thing with The Rock. When The Rock comes out and whatever, it's just more. When you see it live with him coming out, The Rock was way better than if you just like, let me look at YouTube and
that's not a song you would listen to.
No, ever.
Yeah.
So yeah, it does. I think it does make or break you. I think it does make a lot into and that's why I think a lot of times, Rampage is cool where like sometimes when they say, okay, we're going to try to cram everything in, but at the same time, it's like, well, take out one of the stupid promos and just give them their entrance music because that's kind of hypes the crowd. It also hypes the people. Like when you hear like freaking Cody, not Cody, but let's say Mike Lee and Swerve, when they come out, when Mike Lee, I was saying, Keith Lee comes out, when he comes out, the crowd goes nuts with his music. You know what I'm saying? Like, because they pop or whatever. And they're like, oh my God, so.
And that's a theme song I don't particularly care for.
Yeah, I don't either, bro. Like when you see the theme song and you see him come out, he makes it seem important.
Yeah.
And
now you've got a lot of like, sorry, were you going to finish something?
No, I was just going to say like what I'm trying to think of other like iconic theme songs.
There's, I mean, a lot of the ones I really like are not necessarily iconic, but like, and interestingly, I feel like are relatively new. Like some like Bret Hart's theme is one I can't really remember. I just remember that in the beginning, but I don't remember the rest of the song. Ultimate Warrior had that kind of chugga like
yeah
thing, but I can barely remember it. Hulk I think did Real American at one point for a while, which apparently I think was supposed to be used for what are they called, the US Express tag team, when they gave it to Hogan. But like Undertaker probably has arguably the most iconic theme song.
Yeah,
and it's crazy. You hear that
one gong, everyone goes nuts,
and everybody knows, and then the lights come down, and it's amazing because who else? It's the opposite of Ultimate Warrior with cha-cha-cha-cha-cha, and he just running like a maniac to the ring, where like Undertaker just like, yeah, I'll be there eventually.
20-minute entrance. Yeah.
To make that entrance work, you had to have a song that's like compelling, but also slow and creepy. It's pretty, I think it's iconic, not just for the song itself, but for how it works,
and then the wrestlers, I feel like the wrestlers made the songs work more as well as they gotten more powerful, or not powerful, but more impactful. Like Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar is like, his theme song is like, but when you hear the song, he's coming out. So the crowd goes nuts once they hear the song, because you're like, okay, he's going to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, so you also have like a lot of entrance music. I think that
right. If like Curtis Axel had the same theme song as Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. It'd be like,
Yeah.
yeah. So
to me, it's interesting. And there's a time I didn't watch a lot of wrestling, but I feel like this is going to be kind of WWE heavy. There was like a golden age, and it was very brief, and it was a few years ago. Like when I started watching wrestling again, when like, 8 or so years ago, 8 or 9 years ago, wrestling music was garbage. It was embarrassing. It wasn't just bad. It was embarrassing because it was so dated. I mean, there's music that's old and classic, and there's music that's just dated, and this shit was dated, and everybody had the same cornball style theme song that sounded like something that might have been popular in 2001 to the average truck nuts owner, and it wasn't anything cool by the standards of the time and the demographic that they were trying to appeal to. And then shortly after that, they started getting all these new theme songs that were really good. I can't remember all of them, but Nakamura's I thought was great with the violins. I loved Sean Spears, then Ty Dillinger, which was basically just a ripoff of the Airwolf theme song. Do you remember that song?
Yeah.
Which is a great TV theme, and not a show I ever cared about, but I love the theme song. And that was kind of this like, I forget what this style of music's called, but like it showed that they were trying to keep up a little bit more than just like playing the same crap from 2001 Creed sounding bullshit. But they were doing this sort of video game TV theme song from the 80s type of thing, which was a whole trend for a while in like indie bands and stuff. Asuka's music. I think Asuka's theme song was a remade song of an original song, but that was really cool. Bray Wyatt's song I thought was really good.
Especially for him, for someone like his character, it definitely fit.
It fit. It was perfect.
Yeah, it was really good.
Just had
even when he went to the
vibe.
Fiend. Even when he went to the Fiend, I think they did a good job of making that music as well.
Was it the same music, or they changed it?
They changed it up, whereas it was the same kind of theory and like same kind of concepts, but like they made it more eerie sounding. So there's some of them just really work.
That was an original song, I think, too. An original like that they bought the rights to. There was one in NXT. Oh, there was another Malachi Black. What was his name? Aleister Black in NXT had an original theme song that I thought worked really well for him. And it's not a song that I would like normally. You know, it's kind of like a metally hardcore band. And it worked with his whole like rising out of the, not rising up out of the floor, but at an angle. As that music played, it just worked for his character. There was, I don't know if it was like Danny Burch. Who were those two guys? There were these two just like bar fighty tag team, Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan. It was one of them, or maybe them as a tag team. They had this song that just sounded like a Clash song. And again, I'm not a huge fan of the Clash, but the Clash is timeless. That's something you could do that's a retro style song that works. And it was perfect. It's interesting, the original songs, like AEW is doing that a lot now. We talked about it with Orange Cassidy already. I think both the songs they did for him were great. Jungle Boy was great. The first time they played that song, I mean, you got to think at least half of the fans had that song in the back of their mind already for Jungle Boy. Yeah, that would be cool if it came out to Tarzan Boy.
Ricky Starks, I think, theme song works too.
Oh, I like Ricky Starks' theme. Very cool.
Yeah. I think the way the crowd goes with it too, and how like he makes it work for him. Like, I think it's really good.
I like Miro's theme song. It has like the trumpet sounding. It sounds like very like holy, you know, and the whole Redeemer thing. I liked his theme music in WWE too. It just sounded like this big dude is just like stomping his way to the ring. Joe too. I mean, Samoa Joe in NXT WWE, he had that song that was basically a straight up riff off of Pharaoh Monch, but but it worked. It worked for him.
And then when they get the rights to like certain songs, like Hook has Action Bronson.
I love it.
Just works for him.
Oh, and that has it's built in. It's got that little organ at the beginning that has the little teaser. I hear that organ. I'm like, yes.
Yep. And it's just like, some of them just, like I said, makes it work. I don't know if everyone could make that Action Bronson work for them, but like Hook's personality and everything just kind of makes it work more. So I do think that a lot of it has to do with how they are and how they represent. Yeah, you know, with certain songs. Because, in all honesty, like, there's some shitty music, but like, it's not really that bad. Where I'm like, like what songs do you really think is really terrible?
That are, I mean, at WWE, you got fucking Randy Orton voices in my head. God damn it.
But a lot of people like it though.
Yeah. There was a time where they were just all those songs. Right now, I mean, I'm not a fan of Moxley's theme. What he came into before was cool. I don't remember it, but it was just kind of like a chuggy metal song that like felt like, you get kind of amped up. This tough ass guy's coming out right now. Wild Thing.
Mhm.
I don't know. It's like a song that your grandpa thinks is tough,
Yeah.
Like I know he does it because it's a nod to one of his favorite Japanese wrestlers, Onita, I think. So I appreciate that, and that's another way you can use entrance music to kind of like pay homage to wrestlers you admire. But I don't know, Wild Thing and Moxley doesn't work for me.
And I know the crowd likes it, but I kind of liked his other shit better.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I feel like a lot of times having lyrics doesn't always work.
Yeah,
Like
it
Bryan
depends.
Danielson's song didn't have lyrics at the beginning, from what I recall, and
now
now
it
it
does?
has lyrics, and
Oh, I
it
don't remember
doesn't.
that.
It's not good.
I can't. I keep on going back where I feel like the biggest boss mode has got to be Jericho, though. Like I know I said it before, but I'm like, my God, this guy wrote the song. It's his own band. He has the whole entire. Like I know I said it before, but I'm like, that's just insane to me.
It's funny because you've got who else? You got two other AEW guys who are in bands. I don't think they come out to their own songs though.
Yeah. Keith Lee used to like have his own voice and his own stuff when he was in WWE. They changed it when he was AEW, but it was actually his own shit when he was WWE. He should have stayed it that way. Like
I didn't hear it, but I don't like his song now. Who is it? Brody King has a band, God's Hate, and then the Butcher, As I Lay Dying, or Every Time I Die. I always get those two bands mixed up, but I don't think they come into their own music, which is fine.
Yeah, I feel like they should though.
Yeah,
because I feel like it'd be better. Because it's almost like double dipping in a way. Because damn well the people who do like Jericho's song. I know I keep on going back to it, but damn well his song replays and sold on like Spotify or iTunes or whatever went skyrocketed because of all the goddamn wrestling fans.
Yeah. Oh, I thought of another one that's pretty cool. Thunder Rosa has that Sepultura sounding thing.
Yeah,
that's like pretty badass.
Yeah.
There's so many, and like it's weird because you'll hear it. I mean, you only get a snippet of the song. Like a lot of times I want to hear more of the song, but
sometimes it's better though.
Yeah.
When you hear the whole song, you're like, oh, this ain't that good.
That's true. That's a good point.
Like, so sometimes it's better. Do you remember when they had that match with Moxley and like they had the Wild Thing and it just kept on looping on and on and on? Oh my God. That shit was on for like 10, 15 minutes until Jericho took a part of it.
He went out at the soundboard and pulled it.
Yeah, pulled the fucking, but I thought that was actually kind of genius, though, the way it happened, because it just kind of fit. But yeah, sometimes when you hear it, like I said, if you hear it on YouTube, you're like, this ain't that great.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, you like when they come out and you only hear it on the background, where like for instance, Cody's music, like when you said, I actually love his music when it's live when he comes out, because it sounds different to me than if you actually went to YouTube and just heard the song right then and there. You're like, oh man, this is terrible. So it's I guess I don't know if it's because it sounds distant and you hear the crowd cheering and it just makes things sound differently. But yeah, some things are just totally different when it's same thing with Acclaimed. Acclaimed says the same like 4 bars multiple times or like for 5 minutes, And
it's I mean, they come out to a beat. That's not a song. That's not a complete song. And he raps over it. And that's the song. And it's not that great of a beat, but it's perfect for what they're doing. I wouldn't buy a song with that beat on it, most likely. But with the Acclaim does it, it's awesome. And Hook, we talked about a little bit too. I mean, the way he comes out to it, like his saunter goes along with the song. And he always, I don't know if you ever noticed this, he always hits the steps at the same part of the song and then waits for the break before he goes
Mhm.
into the ring,
Yeah.
which is the same thing. Move over to New Japan for a second, that Minoru Suzuki does. Minoru Suzuki pretty much always gets to the ring apron at the same part of the song and then waits until the whole crowd chants that Kaze Ninare, and then he goes into the ring on that. And he does it so nonchalantly because he doesn't make any gestures or motions. He just pauses for a second. Okay, everybody chants. That's a cool one too. And it was a big uproar. I don't know if you remember. I think it was sometime last year where whoever was in charge of the music did not know about Suzuki's music and did not know that 90% of that crowd was waiting for that part to chant, and he cut it off.
Yeah.
The sound guy cut off
Yeah.
Suzuki's music.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's how powerful the music is.
Yep. Some people just have that, and especially like when you have like, think about like when even like simple things as the game. I don't like the game's music, but when he came out and he came out and then he sat on the thing, he pushed the water through the air because he has the water in his mouth, and he's like, you know, like
Motorhead.
They just make it where it's part of the whole shtick, where you know for a fact that when you listen to music, then you can see the images of where they're at certain parts of the thing. You know what I'm saying? Like they did that a lot too. So is Nakamura was like that way.
Yes.
You know, he was like that too, with certain parts of the song, and you know for a fact
he did the air violin, like
yeah. So it's they make it where it's a whole part of the shtick where it's like you have to see them while hearing it too to make it just feel special.
Yeah. I was just talking about New Japan. Okada's is another one. You hear the coin drop beginning, ding, and then they like the kind of power medley themes, power metal not medley. And there's something about him and just like the whole coin drop and this like very grandiose metal song. He's got the robe. It all adds to it, you know. The music adds to the physical presentation, and the physical presentation adds to the music, and it's this feedback loop that's just, you know, that can be great. I'm trying to think, do you know any flops, or is there any other songs that were
that's what I'm saying, like there's songs I don't like, but like it's not like that I hate them, it's just that they're not memorable. Like I can't even tell you what Lucha Brothers songs is. Like there's certain ones
they changed it. That's another thing. Well, why change the theme songs? But Private Parties got changed.
There's a lot of them that like that. I'm not saying it's horrible, but it just doesn't really ring a bell. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like it is what it is. But then there's those that it just sticks with you, and you're like, oh my god, you know. So but I don't. There's not one that I think that it's terrible though.
Eddie Kingston's I'm not crazy about. And I've talked about this before. I think Eddie Kingston, like after DMX died, I really wanted them to buy rights to a DMX song for him. Like that would have been perfect. They're both from Yonkers, and he's obviously a fan. It would have been cool, but I don't know the song that he comes out to. Okay, no, just from Eddie's like walking around in his hip hop t-shirts, knowing his, you know, what he's into just from what he wears, I don't see him listening to that song. This sounds like a song they made up to sound tougher than just like a simple hip hop song, which is what I think he would listen to, because it gave it kind of these growly rock vocals and stuff. And it's like this rock rap thing. And I'm like, I don't know, man, just give him some like pure hip hop song. Is there a good one? Is there a good rap song
for Eddie
for in wrestling that you know of that's not an original song, that's not Action Bronson? Like I think that's hard to pull off. Hip hop is, I think, the hardest style of music to sound authentic.
I think but even like Eddie Kingston's song, I think like it works when you see it live, but man, if you listen to it like again, if you listen to it just on YouTube, you're like, what the hell is this shit? you know, because you don't hear it as much, because when you hear the crowd cheering and you hear just the sound and the beat, that's what your mainly focus is on. But then when you actually hear what he's saying, you're like, he's one of those ones that like it works better when it's live and it's not you're not listening. Because I heard the song, I was like, oh, this is gonna be cool, I should use this as a ringtone or something. And I'm like, no, I do not. I don't want to use it as a ringtone. But he should though. He should do a DMX song. I think that would be good.
Yeah.
He needs some kind of New York type sound.
I mean,
I don't mind Acclaimed. I think the Acclaimed is kind of funny, even just hearing it.
It works perfectly for them.
Yeah, and even when you listen to it on, like, let's say YouTube or something, it's actually not that bad. It's because when they're so good that when you hear it, you actually hear his raps and you hear the hey, listen. Yo, listen, like you actually hear that in the background, no matter what. So,
what do you think of Claudio's theme? That was one that kind of stuck out to me. I'm like, oh, it's like, I think it's like the 1812 overture or something, but on guitars.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not terrible to me, but like it's missable. Where I'm like, I don't care if I hear it or not. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like I'm oh my god, to me, it's like if I heard a song without seeing him, I'd be like, whose music is this? So I'm not saying it's terrible. I'm just saying, like, I can't put the faces to it because it's not that much of a memorable song to me.
You know what song I actually really like? And I'm just thinking of them as we're talking. The Best Friends theme.
Huh?
It's just like the little like fake sounding scratching Best Friends. And it's just synthy, like a synthy beat that just says Best Friends over and over with fake scratching on it. And you got the corny Titantron with like pictures of dogs playing and aliens and like a bad CGI. The whole thing is just a lot of fun. And I'm trying to think. There was, let's see, Sasha Banks' song was like, always sound like I had a dream, I had a baby. And I was like, what the hell is this song about? That one was weird. I don't know. I might have run out of songs to talk about. Well, there's so many we're just not thinking of, though.
Well, there's so many that's I'm not thinking about. But like I said, like it's all we said, all the most iconic ones that you think of, and it's just hard because there's a freaking like 10,000 fucking wrestlers.
But you'll know it. That's the thing. You'll know it when you hear it.
Yeah,
and that's part of the appeal of the song too. It's just like if there's something happening and the song hits, oh shit, that person's coming. Like it has a specific use there.
I could listen if we were watching wrestling, and I can't even tell you what the fuck it sounds like now. But if the Bushwhackers theme song came on, I would be like, "Oh my god, that's the Bushwhackers!" But right now, I can't tell you exactly what the fuck it sounds like.
No clue. I don't have a clue.
But if it came on, you'd be like, "Oh my god, they're coming out!"
Yeah,
do you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's that like some of them are just that way.
You know what's an amazing theme song? Macho Man's Pomp and Circumstance.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason on earth that should work, but it fucking does.
Well, I mean, Macho Man himself is a fucking. Let me go on fucking every drug and imaginable and just go online. But that's there's a lot of people
have
like when Kevin Owens music comes out, I'm like, oh, that's Kevin Owens. But I can't even tell you right now what the fuck it sounds like right now.
I don't have a clue.
But if it came on, you already know, like, okay, he's coming out.
You know, it's funny. There's two people.
Oh, now I know. I just came to my head how it sounds like. But anyway, go ahead.
There's two people who in WWE, Moxley and Cesaro, who I couldn't tell you what their theme songs sound like, but I know how they start. That teaser at the beginning. Cesaro had like the siren thing, and Moxley had like the guitar winding up, like the whammy bar guitar. That's it. That shows you how that tease, how important that tease is, because that's what the first thing you recognize. Like, oh shit, Dean Ambrose is coming out.
We could probably sit there and say like what everyone sounds like once they come out, but like I said, so that's why like I think that's the difference between iconic and like just like it's good, but like we don't. You know what I'm saying? Because iconic ones is like, instantly. Like you could actually pinpoint what it sounds like. You could pinpoint where the poses are and what they're doing. And even though you don't like, let's say, Orton, you still know it. It's still in your head. Do you know what I'm saying? So
God damn it.
that still says something.
That's
you know?
true.
So regardless if it's bad or good, like those are the ones that like when they stand out so much, you're like, oh, okay, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I know I'll give that one to you. But I mean, I don't know. It's like if I were to write a wrestling theme song, I would write a bad theme song. Because I think
Well, yes, you follow in your music.
because I think it's such an art to like craft a song to the style of. I tried this. I tried a band that was going to be like a wrestling
No, don't
themed band and like, oh, we'll do songs that are like entrance songs like style. We're going to do a song. We had all these ideas. It didn't work.
I was talking about you today at when the one guy from work, and I was like, he's like, does that say these bastards? Because I was like holding the sticker. I'm like, yeah. So I showed the picture and the DMs of all the Bastards records. I'm like, yeah, I hate his band, but you know, I still support. He goes, really? I'm like, yeah. And then I told the story about how I bought your album and had it shipped to your house. So I was like, no, I don't want you to make wrestling theme songs. let's just stop that and just call it a night.
All right. No songs for you.
No. I think it's better off that way. But I have no idea where this is going to end.
I mean,
we're having issues of ending things.
Let's say it like this: if you were a wrestler, this is professional shit right here, guys.
Professional shit.
We gotta start monetizing this. If you were a professional wrestler, what would your theme song be?
Of the ones that's out there?
No, a song that's not out there. A song that already exists that's not somebody's theme song, as far as you know. I have a couple. You have to pick one.
I'm saying, does it have to be like just like a song that like someone made too? Like it just
has to exist.
Yeah.
Or if you have an idea for a song, you can say you can mouth it to me right now. You could just be like, I would want a song that goes
No. I would probably choose a.
You can have that if you want it. I just wrote that for you.
No,
free of charge.
You can say yours first.
I think I like Running Free by Iron Maiden would be cool. Also, Legendary Loser by Ari the Rugged Man. I don't know why. Sometimes I'm walking home from work, I'm listening to that song. I'm like, I could see somebody like walking out to this song. That would be cool. Those are the two off the top of my head.
I feel like mine would be like either a Benny the Butcher song or Conway, just because when you have that, you just like you could feel like you could take on anything.
Yeah.
But so it has to be a New York song. To me, it has to be like a Biggie Smalls or like a hip hop New York song.
Yeah. Can it be a song about New York? It can be New York, New York by Frank Sinatra.
That's true. That'd be the slowest ass fucking. That'd be slower than Undertaker. I'll be out in a second, guys.
Gigi Allen. Give
me 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I'll be out. Don't worry. But it has to be to me it has to be a hip hop song, just because you know me and hip hop.
Yeah.
And it has to be something probably from a New York artist.
See, I think if I were a wrestler, I would probably be goofy. So like the songs I picked were real songs, but in reality, I'd probably come out to like Devo or something, you know?
You probably would, yes.
Like Danhausen comes out to some like weird circus sounding kind of shit. And it's not something I would like, but I love it. I love it for Danhausen. It makes me happy. And especially with like the pinwheel background, all the little floating disembodied Danhausen heads spinning.
Yeah.
It's just so good.
It definitely fits him. Yeah. Even if he gets no wins. Anyway.
Yeah. All right.
That is all I can say, because you know what? I have no idea where this is going anymore.
Down the toilet.
Professional shit right here.
I'm going to write a wrestling theme song. That'll be our next podcast. It'll be 40 minutes of me writing a song.
Why do we listen to us?
I don't listen to us.
I don't listen to us
I
either.
listen. I don't know.
Bye.
When I was young, I was a loser. That there's rugged man.